Now we're going to talk about part 2 of this series, the seasonal part. The seasonal, and there could be up to 3 seasons where you live. It's based upon your needs. Now here in my part of the South, my 2 seasons are summer and winter. Okay? This winter set comes in November. And what my winter set is going to be a pair of warm socks, at least 3 pairs, warm footwear that's good for hiking, small hiking boots. Waterproof is a serious advantage. Waterproofing yourself, even better. Clothing, I want a base layer of something like long underwear. Polypropylene is what I normally have. And then I have a good, bulky, loose, like military type cargo pants. Polypro top, t-shirt, and then some sort of heavy shirt. Wool preferably that goes, and then a light jacket. It's assumed that whenever this vehicle breaks down or I become stranded, I'm not butt naked. But this allows me to, whatever I'm wearing, if it is not adequate for the environment, I have a closet to pull out of, see. If what I'm wearing is dress clothes, I can reach into my bag and pull out the winter clothing, and I'm set. On the other hand, if what I'm wearing is too much, I can pull out, or etc. So it allows me something to dial in right now for my conditions, and that's it. Now, getting these clothing, I prefer to use older clothing of mine that I've already had. I know it, and it's getting a little worn. You know, the knees are starting to go out or something like that, and usually I would chuck it. It's still wearable, but that's what I want to put in this bag. Remember what I said about not attracting attention? When I come walking out of, let's say, a Sandy Hook or Katrina level event, and you see me walking down the road, I want you to think I'm broke. I'm a homeless person walking out. I don't want to attract attention. If I have expensive jewelry or expensive watches or whatever, that gets hit. I'm not going to pull up an $800 phone either, because that attracts bad attention. I want my clothing to look like I have nothing of value, so I can walk through your area and not attract attention. Okay? The next thing that's in that bag is a sleeping bag. This is in the bulk bag in the vehicle. And this is an old not World War II, but it's an old U.S. military down bag. Kind of bulky, but very warm, patched in a couple of places with duct tape. Again, it's still very serviceable. It just don't look that great anymore. Again, it doesn't perceive to have a lot of value. Okay? I've got my shelter. I've got everything. I've got a ground cloth. I've got the things that I can get me off the ground, and I've got the things that provide me shelter for the night if I have to weather in place. Okay? Of course, in the core bag is going to be a compass, some form of communication. Okay. And I didn't discuss this earlier, and I should have. My cell phone. Once I realize that I'm in a bad situation, I'm going to call and get a hold of somebody that I already cleared this with. I'll leave a voicemail or whatever. I'll then turn my phone off, because I'm conserving that battery. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to charge it. I'm going to carry my car charger with me. I may get an opportunity down the line to charge it. And in my bag, I want something I can plug into a wall, so I can be at a coffee shop or whatever and plug in and recharge my phone. See? Carry that with me. By turning it off, I'm conserving resources. I will turn this thing back on every 2 hours. That way, the person that I contact, I say, I've got a problem, the vehicle's trashed, the roads are impassable, and I'm walking to the next place. I'm on this road at roughly this point. I'm heading north. Here's the time. This is my perceived destination. If I change, I'll call you. In 2 hours, present time is 3 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I will call you back. So now I've got a check-in time. At roughly 5 o'clock, I'll turn the phone on, verify, and I will call that number again to my wife or whoever it is that's my safety person and tell them I've made it, or here's where I'm at. And that way they can plot where I'm at. So I'm getting out. See what I'm saying? You help yourself stay found. Now, the seasonal. Let's flip it. Summertime. It's hot. Heat. So what goes into my summer set is going to be a pair of good walking cargo shorts. I've got a pair of good walking shoes. I've got 3 pairs of socks adequate for the season. I've got a pair of swim trunks. We'll get to that in a minute. I've got light shirts and etc. My sleeping bag is probably going to be just a single U.S. Army blanket. And bug repellent, mosquito repellent, stuff like that. With that and what I'm wearing when the crisis begins, I should be able to mix and match for the given conditions and walk out. Now, in review, let's look at, we now have a core bag that has my fire, my shelter, my food, my water, my protection. That's what we're doing. I have a compass. I should have a map of some kind, either a car map or whatever, so I can at least figure out rough directions here. I will have a seasonal bag to supplement what I have of clothing. In summertime, I have a seasonal bag that is for the summer clothing. Additional food, I may put extra water in if I'm going to an area that it might be a long distance between waters. I may include hot chocolate and teas and things like that. Don't take up much bulk for the winter. It's something I can heat up real quick on my little, and heat me up, get my core temperature back up. In the summertime, I may have things that are like Kool-Aids and Gatorades and stuff like that to help me as I walk out. And of course, any medicines that you have to have, that's what you put in there. Now, all of this does not take up a great deal of space. It does sound like it would be really, really bulky. And it can be bulky with the winter set. But really, it's not that bulky once you compress it down, etc. My food and stuff goes on the top of the bag. That's going to change out every 6 months. My core isn't going to change. So, my clothing that is seasonal, I have let's say I've got like a duffel bag. The pack is in it, and then over here on the side of it, in the same bag as the clothing, with the food on top of the inside, but on the top of the backpack. Now, I put it in November, my winter set. Click. 1st of May, I change over to my summer set because in my environment, that's when it's time to do it. Click. Out comes everything that was edible, except maybe the 5-year shelf life stuff. And in goes the new stuff. I changed the water out. How to carry the water. A 2-liter bottle is a great thing. You can drop them and they rarely bust. They can, but rarely. A milk jug or something, the top pops up all the time. So I recommend that you just simply take something like a 2-liter bottle or 3-liter bottle. That's easy to work with. Have a 1-gallon Ziploc bag, heavy-duty freezer bag. You can push it down and get small water rivulets and things like that, and use it for filling the big bottle when you're going to put whatever purification to it. And also, if your vehicle has a problem and you need water for the radiator, you can take that bag and find some surface water source and fill it up and pour into the radiator with it. So that 1-gallon bag becomes a water carrier. It becomes a pillow at night. You can blow it up and roll it over and stick it under your head. There's several different things you can do with that. Well, guys, that is the basis of the theory. Okay? Emergency bag theory. You need your core bag. You need your seasonal additions. And then you need to plug in whatever is special to you in your environment. If I was way up north, I'd include a snow shovel. I'd include something for scraping ice off the windshield. If I'm going to be in environments that are really muddy, I may want to come along and stuff for getting me out of the mud. That becomes more of a toolkit for the vehicle to get you unstuck from the environments or things like that. But the basis of this bag is I have to leave the vehicle and walk. Or I have to get out of here and weather in place a bad patch of storm, whatever. I need 3 days worth of food. I need enough water to get me through and the ability to make more water. and I need good, comfortable clothing that's not going to attract a lot of attention that I can walk out with if the time occurs. I hope this gives you some ideas, guys. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.